wasn't coming out of. I knew the minute they put it in. I looked at two of the names on there and was just heartsick. That means those were two people 2 years ago that voted no that were now going to vote yes, or they wouldn't have put it in that committee. Because if those two people would have voted no, it would have been defeated. And so I knew what was happening, and so did everybody else up there, know what was happening. Very, very sad, serious problem. And as I said and listened yesterday, I was sick to my stomach, because first of all, the committee, there was not one person on the committee, not one, that spoke against the bill. And yet we had to listen to Daniel Thatcher go on and on and on about having faith instead of fear. And if we had faith, we would do what the Lord wanted us to do, because He wants us to do this. And we had to listen to all kinds of other things. One of the saddest things I heard, but I know is true, is that those who support an Article 5 convention have sent in a lot more emails, phone calls, notes, and everything else than we have. Not because we don't care as much, or not because there's not more of us, but this bill is the bill of the Convention of States. That is a private organization called Convention of States. We call it COS. People treat them like they're a government entity, like they have, this organization knows all the answers, and they've got legal proof that the states will control the convention, that Congress won't have any say other than to call it. They've got legal proof as they go on and on and on, telling us all the things that will happen because they know. And then they collect people's information in ways you cannot believe. I went on their website the other day to find, they brought in some out-of-state people, had a big thing at the Capitol the first week we were up there. And so I went online to see when, because they didn't say where it was going to be and what time. And so I went onto their website to see, well, what did I happen as soon as I got there? In order to get on the website to find out when they were coming, they make you register. And they get all your private information. That then goes on their list of people who support a CONCON. Now, I didn't do that because I know that, but lots of people don't know that. Okay, I'll give them that. They don't realize that they just said that they were for a CONCON. And then they send out postcards with those people's names on to all the legislators and say, look at your constituent right here is for this. And then they send things from all over the nation. We watched that happen 2 years ago when the Senate voted against it. The House passed it, the Senate defeated it. And what happened? That very next day, every single senator who voted no received the nastiest letter that you've ever seen, calling them cowards. And I don't have a copy of that letter. We have it somewhere. I can't figure out what happened to it. But I have the copy of the letter they sent out telling people to all over the country, saying, contact Utah, here's all their names, here's what they did, those cowards, and they said that in there, those cowards, and if you want more information, click here, and if you want help, click here. And as you went down through it, they were calling them names, calling them cowards. You go all the way down, and the last thing it says, when you click there, it says, oh, and by the way, we know how busy you are, so if you'll just click here, we will use your name, and we'll contact them for you. So they were all getting the very same letter, and it was a nasty letter. And of course, in order to generate, each one of them got over 1,000 in one day, 1,000 emails. All the same letter, but from 1,000 different names from every place in this country. I thought that was enough to make them never vote for this again. The sponsor of the bill came to me, told me how embarrassed he was. They tried to get him to stop doing it. They wouldn't do it. They asked Ken Ivory if he'd please try to stop him. Ken says, well, I don't know what I'm going to say to them. You know, so they went on and on trying to get it stopped, and it didn't stop. But still, this year, they're back trying to do it again. They didn't even figure out who these people are. So who are these people? They're a private organization, just like Eagle Forum. They're no different than we are. And yet they can get in the halls of the legislature, back in the back, the caucuses and things, and talk to everybody. They show up. A former United States Senator is one of their leaders. He was just here. They do it all, and they say anything and everything they can. And so the information that you have and are reading about comes from these people, and they have no legal authority. I've got quite a few handouts to leave here with you. It's a little bit of reading, but please take the time to read. As I was going home last night, and I got home at 10:30, I got home at 10:30 the night before, and I get up at 4 o'clock to go back to the legislature every day. And I'm not telling you these things because I'm complaining, not saying this at all. And we're there every day. Like I said, I get up at 4, I get home at 10:30. That's what it takes. But it's just for 7 weeks, but that's what it takes. But I'm old and I'm getting tired and it's really hard. And as I was thinking about it, sometimes I get really upset and I shed tears because I feel frustrated and upset after like what happened yesterday, like I've been slugged in the stomach, and it's very difficult. But I'm telling you this because it's hard, and it's very hard, and I'm not complaining because it's hard, because it has to be hard. And my little 7 weeks of losing some sleep and having to put up with some of the things I put up with up there is absolutely nothing compared to how we got this freedom in the first place. And so I'm asking each of you, not asking any of you to go through getting up there in the snow. Oh my gosh, the snow this year, my horror stories, 2.5 hours one day to get there. Horror stories with snow, but no, I know people are praying for snow. Their prayers are making it longer. God doesn't care that it took me 2.5 hours to get there. People need water. I'll accept that. But it's hard for all of us. And so each of us look at what we can. And so I'm asking you, I pledge to you, I'll keep going up there till God tells me I don't have to go anymore. I've done a lot of that praying, it hasn't worked yet. But till God tells me I don't have to go, I'll keep going. And I'll go as much as I can, the strength that I have to go. And I'll stay all day and I'll talk to those legislators that upset me. And I'll do all those things that need to be done up there. And what I'm asking for each of you is do what you can do. This is something I can do. You know why I can do it? You know why at my age I can do it and I keep doing it and people keep saying, how can you do this? Because this is what God called me to do. And if God called me to do this, then I could do it. If He hadn't called me to do it, I'd turn my alarm off and go back to sleep. But this is what He's called me to do. And so I'm asking you to ask God what He's calling you to do. And I'm hoping that you'll find out that what we need you to do right now is read our emails. Make sure you're on our list. And when those emails come, please do what we're asking you to do. Always, always, always contact your legislators. COS right now and the Convention of States people are bragging because they really are getting, even here locally, lots and lots more emails than we are. But yet we know that more people, the populace out here doesn't want this terrible convention. We have personal experience, and we talked about how we have our booth at the Freedom Festival here every year. That's even more work than going to the legislature. It's hot there. I have a sunstroke. So, but we stand there, and Sharon Anderson is like the hero of all times. And she gets that booth going, and we stand there for hours and hours, and we talk to people, We talk the people that we hand brochures out and things. Any of you that are there, you know that when we hand them something, we talk to them. We don't just say, here as people go by. We can't afford to give out that kind of brochures. We gave out 5,000 brochures and constitutions just in this last one. And do you know what? For me personally, and all those times, I'm talking to 2 people who didn't agree with us. 2. And the other side had a booth there, and the lady who runs the whole thing there for the Freedom Festival came and talked to us. She kept coming and complimenting us. I love you guys. You do what you abide by the rules. You don't get out on the sidewalk. You don't do the things that they. And she says, that other booth, they are chasing people down the sidewalk. We have to keep going back and telling them you got to stay back and you're with, because they couldn't get people to stay there. We had people who came from there with their materials in their hand, saying, well, I just talked to them and we didn't criticize them. I just gave them the facts about what this was all about. Oh my gosh, I didn't know that. No, I'm with you guys. But most people, we didn't have to say much. We don't want that. We don't want that. So we know the people are on our side. You've had that personal experience. And yet legislators think it's the other way around. And that's what they're telling me. My constituents want this because I'm getting so many emails from them. We need you guys to say, we don't want it. So what we're asking from you is just the time it takes from your home, and it might take during these 7 weeks, half hour, an hour of your time, each time to contact every single legislator and say, you don't want this. Tell them this is our divinely inspired, wonderful Constitution. And I've got these handouts for you, and you can read through them, take time to read through them, and just highlight some things that you think that you could personally send to your own legislator. And, you know, we don't say, here's one postcard, we'll all say the same thing, because the legislators see through that. We ask you to write your own note, and we ask every one of you to write the notes. Yes?
I have one right here that I wrote to Representative Kay Christopherson.
Good. You have the same one that I have? Is that yours? That's mine. Now send that same one to all the rest of the Republicans. The Democrats are with us.
This doesn't work for all of them, though. It's very personal.
Fix that up a little bit. I know what you're saying. I do the same thing. To my own, it's very personal, and then I kind of fix it up. And I've got some other things here for you to see. Right now, the senators,